You're listening to the Spirit and Truth Podcast. Welcome back to the Spirit and Truth Podcast. I am Maggie Ulmer, and I'm here with...
Matt Reynolds.
Whoa, I did the intro.
Yeah, you're not Rob either.
I'm not Rob, no. Rob is on retreat.
But we do have a minimum one Ulmer policy for this podcast. So...
It's true. It goes off the rails, I guess, when we're all recording.
Yeah. Well, this is fun. This is like a
old school
throwback.
Yeah.
To the good old days.
The good old days.
I don't know. We did used to record a ton of podcasts together.
Yes.
And Rob is doing a spiritual retreat, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Friends, today is going to be probably a little bit of a shorter episode. I hope you enjoyed.
It's because I'm not Rob.
Well, I don't know how to respond to that.
It's okay. We all know it's true.
Well, today we're going to just do a little summer check-in. It won't be a long episode, but we're going to talk a little bit about some things that have been going on in our lives, and also hopefully just help you to reflect a little bit about where you're seeing God at work in your life during these summer months. And then we also, before we wrap up, want to share some dates and locations with you for Spirit and Truth stuff that is coming up here before too long, starting in August and then through the fall, so that if you're in any of those locations, hopefully you could join us. Some exciting things coming up in the second half of the year. So first, just a little check in. What's going on with the Ulmers? How's life? I know you all got to spend a little time away here recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went on vacation, went to Lake Michigan, had a wonderful time. It was beautiful. We've never vacationed there before, so that was awesome.
How did you decide to go there?
Well, it was recommended to us.
By someone pretty smart, I bet.
By you. Okay.
Okay, this is working out great.
Yeah. And but we did have a legitimately wonderful time. It is a wonderful place, and we should just turn this into a commercial for Lake Michigan. You guys should go on vacation there. It's super fun.
I think my primary life goal is to be an evangelist for Jesus. But after that, I evangelize two things. Pickleball and Lake Michigan.
I've noticed this about you.
That's like my two passions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't say much about the pickleball, but Lake Michigan is a win.
It's so beautiful. So, well, that's good. I'm glad. Summer is such an important time, I think, to just sort of have a bit of a reset.
A rest, yeah.
And I know in our ministry rhythm, it just, everyone's life rhythms are different. I know different times depending on your occupation or your kind of school rhythms or whatever, that kind of helps orient the year for you. At least for our family and I think for the Ulmers as well, we've been in this sort of school rhythm calendar for a while now. And our ministry with Spirit and Truth has that kind of school calendar rhythm to it. Most of our Spirit and Truth events happen really during the school year. We do less trainings, both intentionally for our own rest, but also because churches are not wanting to plan, big events in the summer months as much, which is helpful because it gives us some time to not be on the road, which is good and needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, the school year and the church activity year tends to sync up pretty well.
Yeah.
But, yes, I have come to really value summer. I think when my kids were little, it was a little more hectic, because summer is just it's like family camp,
Yeah.
You're like, how do I keep these children entertained?
It does feel sometimes like this is a lot of together time.
It does. Yeah. It got easier for me when I was like, you know what? You can just be bored.
Yeah.
Just stare at the sky or something. But to that point, to that end, one of the things that has just become a real conviction in our family is time for nothing.
Yeah.
Because you, throughout the course of, I think, especially in ministry life, you do so much, you encounter so much, you interact with so many people. Your time can be full of so much, and so much of it can be quite intense.
Yeah.
Whether that's spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, you need time to like not do that stuff.
Yeah.
And so the way the travel rhythm of this ministry has worked out that has been great for us. For Rob and I, stuff tends to slow down at church in the summer anyway. So we just tend to really try to do nothing. We go on a vacation, and vacations, as Rob and I have gotten older and our kids have gotten older and they don't go on vacation with us, have sort of become like a retreat time for he and I, just as married people. We pray, talk about what the Lord's done and what he's doing, and it's good.
Yeah. So we were talking before we started recording about maybe just thinking through a couple of practices that are helpful spiritually in the summer. And I think you've hit on a couple of important ones that I think are similar, I would say, for me and for my family as well. One is rest. Mm-hmm. Because, life just in general, I feel like most people, especially, the United States tends to be a fairly fast-paced society. We like to accomplish a lot and go and do a lot of things. And I think one of the great temptations is to sort of like just any spare moment to shoehorn in more stuff.
Yeah.
So if you don't have some seasons where you're intentionally choosing to rest, you can find yourself burnout and losing perspective very easily. Because rest isn't just about physical; it's also about mental and spiritual. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we're meant as human beings to be saturated and on high activity kind of mode all the time. That's just not how we're wired. And we've talked about this on the podcast before about just God's, design, even just building Sabbath rest into sort of the fabric of creation. Mm-hmm. So rest is a big one. And then for me, I also think because life tends to, at least in this season of my life, operate kind of on the school rhythm calendar, I find that summer is almost a more reflective time for me, even than certainly the new year is a time to reflect. But because of just how our lives are oriented, it just feels I find myself sort of reflecting on the past year in the summer, because I'm like thinking, when I think about the past year, I'm usually thinking about the past school year. Yeah. For life and ministry and kids stuff and all of that. So when we were on vacation a couple weeks back, I found myself doing that a little bit when I was doing some journaling. It's just sort of reflecting about where we are, what we've seen God do in the past year and all of that. And you had mentioned that, spending some time with Rob, just reflecting on that. And I think intentional, it doesn't have to be like scrutinizing everything, but intentional reflection, both to sort of foster gratitude for the ways that God has been at work.
Yeah.
And also to just like notice important patterns or things that maybe God is trying to teach you. Like, that's a healthy thing to do. Intentional reflection.
Yeah, it has been interesting. I was chuckling there for a minute because I was thinking, when we come back from the fall, that is the most frequent time when we come into staff meetings and you're like, I have an idea. And I think, I bet you do. I bet you got a lot of ideas.
Well, we usually get a month or two where we're not traveling, and so when you're not preparing or, preparing a talk or getting ready to teach or, praying about a specific Spirit and Truth conference or weekend coming up, for me, it's just like when I have space, then your mind starts to process and wonder and dream and, and it's like that's part of the reason we need those kind of spaces where we're not going a million miles an hour.
Yes.
Because if you don't, then at least for me, all that my mind is filled with is accomplishing the next thing.
Yes.
And you don't get to really think and dream and pray about bigger picture. What is God doing? And really even noticing the hand of God in some really beautiful ways that you just it's almost like I'm picturing like, I get myself sort of like so. It's like I can almost picture myself with like hunched over, like fixed on the thing that's right in front of my face.
Yeah.
And then like lose perspective on everything else that's happening around.
Yeah, that's very real. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think when we lose the capacity or the space or the time to dream, to engage our sort of spiritual imaginations, that then ministry becomes just drudgery. I mean, obviously we don't mean for it to become that way, but it can just feel like it's monotonous, like it's the same thing every day, same issues, same whatever. And there's always a bit of stuff that we don't want to do that's a part of anything that we enjoy or love. But I have a conviction that ministry is hard, but it's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus said, I've come that you might have life and have it to the full.
Full, yeah.
And there are aspects of life with Jesus that are always going to be hard. There's an element of sacrifice, self-denial, and, picking up your cross is not easy.
No. And
yet, he says that we're supposed to have life to the full, that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. There's a sort of a paradox of the Christian life here where it's meant to be like, it's not easy, but it's not meant, the life that he extends to us isn't meant to like beat us down.
Yeah.
It's not like, he's not trying to grind us into a pulp.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
actually,
right.
The self-denial and the sort of death to self, a lot of times, and I think in our American context, is a giving up of control and our obsessive need to sort of produce all the time.
Yes, it is, I think, designed intentionally to make you go slower.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, that's good. I do tend to do a ton of reflecting in the new year, but I've noticed lately that this summer has been a huge time of just looking back. And I think you hit on something really important, and that's gratitude.
Yeah.
And of course, that's a scriptural thing, to sort of tell yourself the story of what God has done, to recount his mighty acts, not just, over the span of all time, but specifically in your life. And, you can go through some really hard things and then think about that, and it changes everything. You're just like, okay, Lord, you are here.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
Yeah. I think I've said this before on the podcast, but I just want to say it again. And this is out of my own brokenness, but if there are pastors who are listening, like, one of the temptations, at least for a chunk of us, is to think that you have to sort of like prove your worth all the time. And being a busy pastor is not the same thing as being an effective pastor.
That's true.
And so you learning to have some rhythms of rest and rejuvenation is not actually something you should feel guilty for. It's something that you have to have if you're going to be effective as a pastor for the long term. Like, if you're not mentally, emotionally, physically healthy, you can't shepherd people in the way that God has intended you to do. So this is something I've always just had to wrestle with, because I like to produce things and get things done. And, I have a tendency to try to like always do more. I feel like you're making a face about that.
I am. That feels familiar to me.
Oh, you're not, you're not disagreeing with me?
No, well, sure. Okay. No, you're wrong.
Okay. In any case, I just think working hard and pursuing the things that the Lord has given you to do is really good.
Yeah.
Like, I am certainly not someone who would advocate for something that's just lazy. In fact, there's a flip side of this coin, because I and this probably sounds harsh, but I know some pastors who are lazy.
Really?
And they don't want to work hard for the Lord. And that's stupid. Like, you're doing work. This is just a truth for any human being. It's not just for pastors, but like, you're doing work that matters for eternity.
Yeah.
Like, you should care about that. You shouldn't just be coasting, like just coasting along, and like you should give the Lord your best. So I'm not advocating laziness, but I am advocating that it's important and right to have rhythms.
Yeah.
And not every season, you can't go hard all the time without burning out.
Oh yeah, that's the truth.
You have to have seasons. There are some times, we have them in this ministry, where you go really hard, like, and you just, stuff ramps up, and this is a time that the Lord has given you a lot, and you work hard and you get it, and you trust the Lord for the strength that you need.
Yeah.
But you can't live there all the time.
No. What's funny is that a couple seasons ago, we had one of the busiest travel seasons we have ever had. And that was a hard season, I think, for all of us. You traveled even more than
It was a lot.
It was a lot. And then this season right after it was just so much slower. Mm-hmm. And I remember Rob asking me, he's like, does that worry you? And I said, nope. I was like, honestly, I could feel that there were certain things just transitioning in the ministry, but also I just thought, no, this is a type of provision. Everything's okay. We're doing okay. Mm-hmm. You take it where you get it and don't freak out and trust that God is good.
Yeah,
because we're really busy this year.
We're so busy. Yeah, the seasons are important. Like, not every season should look exactly the same.
Yeah.
And, when whatever your day-to-day job is, you got to figure out what is a healthy rhythm look like for me that I'm both working hard and trusting the Lord with the work that he's entrusted to me, but I'm intentional about rest and rejuvenation as well, because you're not supposed to live at rest all the time, where you're just doing. There's a certain sense in which you are at rest when you're with the Lord, but like, you're not meant to just do nothing all the time.
Yeah,
there was work. I've said this on the podcast, I know, but Adam and Eve worked in the garden before the fall.
Yeah.
So like, work is good. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a holiness to just like partnering with the creative work of the Lord as he's working in the world.
Yeah.
That's good. But also there's times you need to rest. And so you need both. It can't be all one or all the other.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's a good word. That's a good word of encouragement too, because churches go through seasons. They ebb and they flow, and things happen, stuff fluctuates. And I know that pastors have anxiety about that. It's like, anytime you feel like you look out in the morning and the crowd's a little thinner, you're like, is this summer vacation or what's happening?
Yeah.
But it's, look, the burden of the church is not ours to bear. Yeah. Jesus has got that all wrapped up.
Yeah. And I know for me, and I feel like I keep saying this, I probably have shared this, but it's like, there's been times the Lord still has to teach me through that, because when I'm feeling a lot of anxiety in the absence of high activity, then that's revealing something in me that is a sort of addicted to the activity, and where I'm drawing a sense of sort of identity and worth from what I'm doing. Right. And that's something I think the Lord wants me to be aware of, so that he can help heal that in me.
Amen. That's good. That's good.
If you're feeling that sort of like, and I've struggled with this when we went through a stretch, I looked at the last school year, because I had a bunch of speaking things and different things, and we had all our Spirit and Truth events, and I think I added up, it was like 29 out of the 52 weeks this past school year I was traveling somewhere for something.
Well, that's more than half.
That's a lot. So I can get to the end of a stretch of a busy travel, like if I've been going somewhere almost every week, and then when things slow down, I have a little more space, there's a sort of like feeling of like a loss almost, like what am I doing?
Yeah.
And that's something the Lord has continued to address in me. Like when I identify that feeling, it's revealing something in me that is sort of like, it's like I'm needing something out of the activity.
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm feeling a sense of sort of like disorientation on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And so now everyone's just getting a little bit of my internal sort of like formation that's happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's not surprising though, right? Because you don't, like, ministry requires, unless you're coasting, it requires a lot of internal stuff to like generate the desire to like leading people is hard. It's just hard work. People are not easy. And yeah, the people who are called into ministry, I'm always surprised by how different we all are. God calls all kinds of people. But I think if there's a unifying sort of characteristic, there's always this kind of like force inside of someone that's like, no, let's go somewhere. Mm-hmm. Whether it's to the depths of the mysteries, or whether it's, justice, or, we're all trying to like partner with the Lord to get something going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, when those moments are not there and we're in the groove of doing that, we're like, well, it can throw you off for a second. So anyway.
Well, we just pray for those that are listening that this summer, we're kind of like, at least for our rhythm, kind of middle of the summer right now, that this could be a time where you experience some real intentional times of rest, and hopefully some intentional times of reflection about where you're at with the Lord and kind of what ways that he has been and is working in your life right now.
And also in the fall, if you want to come hang out and rest with us,
yeah,
we have a lot of stuff happening. We have lots of Spirit and Truth weekends coming up this fall.
Yeah. Something I'm just looking, one quick note, July 26th, I'm preaching at the Table Church in Pittsburgh. So if anyone's in Pittsburgh and wants to come hang out, that would be a fun time of worship that weekend. And then our first Spirit and Truth weekend
it's coming up. It's September 18th. No, wait. No, one before that. It's one in August.
August 7th and 8th in Muncie,
Indiana. Sorry, I'm looking. That one's not on the upcoming dates.
We added it a little later. It probably needs to be added to the website. Yeah. So Muncie, Indiana, August 7th and 8th. And then if anyone's listening that's going to be in South Africa and Johannesburg for the Global Methodist General Conference, I'm going to be there and doing some Spirit and Truth evangelism training on the front end of that on the 28th, I believe it is, or it might be the 29th, whatever day that I should know that. I'll be there.
It says the 29th.
Okay, the 29th. There's a day of like mission and outreach that's before General Conference starts. So if you happen to be there for that, we'd love to have you be a part of that Spirit and Truth outreach training. And then it's coupled with some mission opportunities that are going to be pretty awesome.
And then after that, we have, we're hit the ground running.
Yeah, so give us our September ones after that.
After that, we have Howell, Michigan. Then we're in Carlsbad, New Mexico, which is new.
Yeah, we've never been done a Spirit and Truth thing in New Mexico before.
I know, that's exciting.
So that's cool.
And then we are in Liberty Township, which is just down the road.
Yeah, near Cincinnati, Ohio, Liberty Township. And then near Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
In Delaware.
I like when we have driving trips. That's fun.
So a couple ones in Ohio. And then At the end of October, if you're a youngish pastor, I don't actually know what their qualification is, but we'll send this out in a ministry update email so that if you're interested, you can look at it. There is a South Korea spiritual pilgrimage retreat that is happening to learn from the prayer life, the church planting, and the pastoral ministry of our brothers and sisters in South Korea.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm helping to facilitate that trip that leaves around October 26th or 27th and comes back the middle of the next week, November 4th. It's very reasonable because of the host church, a massive Methodist church that hosts this for us in Seoul, South Korea. And so if you're interested in that, we'll send out more information, but I think there's still some slots available. And I think it's going to be a very powerful time. I'm excited to go. I would be going even if I wasn't a facilitator. I would love to just be a part of this trip. And so so that'll be pretty interesting just to see how God meets us during that time. And I think it's all pastors that are going.
That's cool. I can't, if you feel called to church planting, or that would be just an
prayer
awesome
ministry.
thing. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
And then after that.
Yeah, after that we have some more Spirit and Truth weekends, and one of those might be getting rescheduled, so I'm not going to name all of them. But then in November there will be some local Spirit and Truth weekends, and then probably the first weekend of December we will be down somewhere in the Trinity Annual Conference. We're going to be planning a series of Spirit and Truth weekends with that annual conference that covers the east part of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. And it looks like we're going to be doing Spirit and Truth weekends in all 11 of their districts or areas over the next couple years.
That's cool.
So we're going to be kicking that off at the beginning of December. So going to Texas a bunch more, which is what we do.
It's par for the course.
That's what we do. So that gives you a flavor for some of the things that are coming up. We need to update the website with a few of those things, but if you go to the website, there is an event calendar, and we always love if you listen to the Spirit and Truth podcast, if you're in the region of one of these events, we would love for you to
come hang out,
participate, worship, pray with us,
meet with the Lord.
Yeah, this is a way that you can sort of rest in the Lord by creating space for learning and retreat and prayer and worship. Having set apart weekend like that where you can just turn your full attention to the Lord is a way to find real spiritual renewal.
That's awesome. Well, friends, that's been our podcast for today, and we do hope that you're getting some rest and enjoying your summers, and come hang out with us this fall. All right, we'll come back to you in the next conversation.
Sounds good.
All right, bye.